Okay, we're starting a video, lever construction video for the D6T LGP. That's the LGP is actually stands for low ground pressure, and what that means is these dozers have extra wide tracks compared to a lot of dozers. That's what the low ground pressure is right there, wide tracks. So anyhow, we're here checking this out. Every morning, what you best thing to do in the mornings is to come in and give a quick walk around your vehicle. Look for things like crack and like down there may be a crack possibly. And when you start rolling down the road, make sure you look at if this is rolling. Look, make sure all the bolts are in here. Just do a maintenance on the vehicle. And when you're down here, you should be able to get your fist between this part right here and tell if your tracks. If you're getting, this is starting to get really close to that part right there, you may want to have it tightened up. And when you tighten up your tracks, you gotta have wrenches to take these bolts off around this area right here. And then there's a grease cert in there, and your grease cert is put your grease gun on there, and it will actually push the tracks out to where your good tightening level is. You don't want to get them too tight, but make sure you get them good. And always on track maintenance, clean out between these areas right in here at night, especially up and around here. If it's going to be cold or even wet, dirty, it's best to clean all this stuff out here so everything runs properly. Just helps in long life of the wheels and stuff if the stuff's cleaned out of there. Just do it nightly. If it freezes overnight, it could be a pain in the butt, especially if it freezes and this one stops turning. If that wheel stops turning, have someone check it out. If it's not, you know, especially if it's really cold outside, it doesn't hurt to have someone actually watch that wheel roll. Because if that stops rolling, it will hurt this track up here, and then it will cause a flat spot and wear the track faster, and the wheel will get a flat spot in it. So kind of this, just kind of information, just make sure that things are not getting wore loose. So kind of the rules of thumb, look for loose things that are leaking, or things that are obviously broke or missing. You know, there's a pin, it looks like there used to be a pin in there, tell them about it. So you look, just look around your machine, leaks, that kind of stuff. And then when you get on your vehicle to go in, like on this dozer, there's foot placement places right here, and that is just for your safety to get up in this cab correctly. And always try to keep three points of contact is what they recommend. A hand on both feet on the ground, one hand on a handle up here, or you know, 1 foot on the ground and one coming up here, and then one hand there. Try to keep three points of contact all the time. So this is a dozer with just a normal blade on it, and they have the cylinders out right now replacing the cylinders. There'd normally be a cylinder right there. But on these cylinders, there's nothing to grease in there. I'm going to be going over the grease thing here shortly, and there's actually none on the cylinder itself, but there is grease cert. Kind of go through the first one right here, right, just as well, right here, grease cert right there. And always try to clean your grease certs off. You don't want to go in and put dirty grease injected into the bearing. So try to wipe it off, and if there's sand or dirt or stuff on it, try to keep that as clean as you can when you're injecting grease into it, because it kind of defeats the purpose of you are injecting dirty, sandy material into your bearings. It will wear them out, and that's kind of what the whole grease thing is about. Okay, we're going to move up here on the D6T LGP, and Ben's going to open the door up there, show you how that's done right there. Hold the door open like that, and this is your morning routine here, guys, is come in here, and right down here where I'm pointing with the camera is the dipstick right there. Yep, and you just kind of pull that out of there, and you check your dipstick, make sure it's full and stuff like that, and bring a rag up with you when you come up there, and you can wipe it off and stuff. And if you find that you do need oil in the machine, the fill point is right there. You just pull that off of there and just fill it up there. Grab a funnel, don't spill oil all over the place. And how you know what kind of oil it is, Ben, open up that door up there for me, would you? I'm going to try to zoom in there if I can. Up at the top of the cab, I'm going to go zoom way up here. There's a little piece of paper that I'm zooming in up here. It's a sticker stuck to the window. That will tell you the correct oil that goes in the engine, the correct oil that goes in the transmission, and the fluids that you need to know will be up there, so you put the correct oil or fluid in the right place. Then there's a light. Go ahead and show me where that light is. So it's dark in the morning. There is a light right up there. It's really handy. Not all of them have this, but some of them do. It's kind of a nice little feature there. And here's your air filter. This is something, if you're in a daily job where it's going to be really dirty out there, dusty, got to be done every day. You got to take a look at you just pull them out like Ben's doing there, and this whole unit pulls out. You take it and tap it on something, not hard, if you don't have an air compressor. But if you have an air compressor, it's best to blow the air from the inside out if you possibly can. But it's something you can do every day. It's going to make your machine run smoother, give you more power. Because once that gets dirty, it's just like it's choking to death. So make sure you do that daily. And that's about, oh, and then let's show them that panel, Ben. Just go ahead and pull that baby up there. Okay, right down here is a couple filters. You don't have to worry about that. The maintenance crew will worry about that. But right down here, I'm going to get in there. And there is a little, right where Ben's pointing right there. Again, wipe these off. They look dirty and crappy and sandy looking or something like that. Make sure you wipe them off, because you don't want to inject sand and dirt into the bearings, because it defeats the purpose. I know a lot of guys do that. It needs to go a little more on the bottom there. And make sure that drops in just like Ben's doing there. Drops in the bottom. It just kind of slides in. There's no bolts, no screws, no wing nuts. It just sits there. What holds the door into place is this other one shutting. So when you do that, make sure you turn the handle and put it down correctly like he did. We're going to go up here. Let's go to this first one right here. Let's go this one right here. Yep. Let's hit that baby right there first. I think it was already open. There. Yep. So you got to twist and open. Here's your kill switch right here. This is your main power switch. If you're going to leave it overnight, it's in a residential area or somewhere where people might come and mess with it, not a bad idea just to shut this off. You know, and if you're going to be working on the motor or something like that, good at practice getting to shut this off. That way no one can start the vehicle. Nothing can get done, especially if you're going to be crawling underneath it or whatever like that. Good practice, get that baby shut off if you're doing any kind of maintenance on it. There is a hour glass right there, how many hours you got in there. Here is a plug-in where if you're warm with the motor, it's cold outside, you can plug it in right there. That's for your heater. It's a nice convenient spot. You don't have to get inside the hood or nothing for that. And there is a light there for, must be a light for something there. I don't know, where's your little light? Oh, there it is. That gives you a little light so you can see your stuff. Another nice little convenient thing there. Okay, and I'm not sure what's behind this one here. Let's open it. They're all a little different, so it looks like there's some fuses and stuff like that in there. Nothing you probably need to get into a whole lot, but fire extinguisher, we try to have a fire extinguisher in all of our units here, so be careful. Go ahead and go up there and open that one up there. I think that's your is that?
It's your washer fluid.
Washer fluid, that's what I thought. There's your washer fluid. I'll try to get in there and kind of show you that. Okay, go ahead and is there any more fuses in that one? I know one of these rigs there's fuses in. No fuses in that one. All right, and here's your fuel cap. Put diesel fuel in these. Pull the tab off and lift up like that, and then just got to work it around so it sits in there right, and put the tab down. Make sure it's all the way down. There you go. Pretty easy deal there. Okay, we're going to pause for a second, go to the other side. Okay, we're going on the other side there. Go ahead and open this up. We'll just kind of This is a good way you can look at if there's any belts or stuff. Just give everything a once look through things there. Oh, and here's another thing I'm going to mention while I'm up here. There's a cab filter right up there. Let's see. Show them where that wing nut is. Kind of point to that wing nut right there. Yep. That knob right there, and there's one on the opposite side. There's a cab filter there. That's to bring your outside air into there. And if you want good clean air and you want your air conditioner to run at its very best, you need to keep that clean. Again, you can kind of tap that out. Don't get crazy when you're tapping things because you don't want to bend the filters. Best to try to find a air compressor. That's why we have them on a lot of the sites. They're there for a reason. Use them and try to do, push the air out through the same way it came in. Okay, we're going to go in there, open this thing up right there, this little drawer up, and we'll show you what we got behind here. This is just filters and stuff for the maintenance guys, so a lot of stuff on your normal operator stuff, you don't have to really worry about anything in this drawer, it doesn't look like. But this next drawer you do. Let me get this light on this thing. Right up here there is this is the fill and the check of your transmission right there. Or, hold on a second. Okay, that is your fill and your check for your for your transmission rather. Transmission right there. And right over here is your fill for your hydraulic. And here's the thing, make sure you never take this cap off when your vehicle is running. Never, ever, 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 ever take your cap off. And see how he's pulling up on that cap? It comes out, it's threaded out of there. If this has been running, even if it's sat for a day or so, it's still got pressure in that thing. So as you're taking that off, if it still has pressure, it's going to be hissing, like when you're getting it off there. And so be very, very careful when you're putting it on and off, especially when it's just got done running. I'd let it sit for quite a while, and when you take it off, you got to ease that cap off. Because whatever in that tank, you're going to be wearing it with pressure. So do not take it off fast or when it's hot. Here is your, right here is the check window for your hydraulics. And here's another thing, this one right over here beside it, do not take that off either when it's hot or running. That contains pressure, that is the vent for the hydraulics. Don't touch it. No reason for you to mess with it. So there's those points right there. We're going to jump down and I'll show you a couple more grease points. Well, I suppose I can show you the grease point while I'm right up here. Go ahead and shut that door, Ben, and then I'll show him the other grease point on this side. Right there's the other grease point. I'm going to zoom in on that thing. Right there it is. There's one on each side right there. So this unit here has 3 main grease certs. Very fortunate when you're on this one because there's only 3. Some of them get quite a lot more. But that's about all in this. Like I say, just keep your tracks clean. When you're coming down, use the 3-point contact with your hands and your feet. And we just will jump in the cab right now. And I'll kind of show you a little bit on the handles inside. Okay, we're up here in the cab now, and we're going to go right over here to this on your left-hand side here. And this is your left-right. When you push it one way is left, and then right. And then there's a yellow right there. That is your forward and reverse button. Come to complete stop before you start flipping that button. And right above that is where his thumb's at. There's a little rolling thing, and you'll find out what gear you're in. And that will appear up here on the dash. That'll have an indicator up there what gear you're in. And then right over there is your parking brake. Rather, it's kind of hard to see right over where his finger's at. You'll figure it out. That's your parking brake, and then right over here is the run your blade. And that's kind of the basics inside the cab there and everything else. If there's lights are flashing on your dash, tell your supervisor, and then they'll get a hold of the maintenance crew to see why you got some flashing, but don't let anything flash. Anything looks out of the ordinary, shut her down. And if you start smelling something funky like fluid or something like that, you start getting a different order than you're used to around there, there's something going on, leaking or whatever, to shut your machine down immediately. I guess that's about it for this one. This here is the D6T LGP low ground pressure dozer. Thanks, this is Roger Lieber with Lieber Construction. Okay, we are going to add something to the D6T. Forgot to mention about the radiator. The radiator is right up front of the machine up here. This is the front of the machine. And again, do not test this while it's running or hot. This is something you check in the mornings. And just look in there, push down, pull it out there, and you'll see the go check your fluid. But don't try this even at noon or anything. If it's not done in the morning, you got to shut the unit down for quite a while before you even attempt to take that off there. We just don't want any hazards. And when you ever check any of these fluids like this, make sure you're wearing your PPE, your glasses for sure. Make sure you got your safety glasses on when you're checking any kind of fluids.